Have you ever wondered whether it's truly possible to secure your future in the United Kingdom after just 7 years? Maybe you've heard whispers about a 7-year rule, only to dismiss it as a myth or perhaps as something too complicated to understand. What if I told you that for some people, this is not a myth at all? What if I told you that for children and young people who have grown up in the UK, a genuine pathway to permanent settlement after 7 years actually exists? And here's the important part. Recent changes in immigration law have made this route clearer, faster, and more compassionate than ever before. Stay with me, because in this video we're going to break down one of the most significant and humane pathways in UK immigration. This 7-year route to indefinite leave to remain will explain exactly what the 7-year rule is, who qualifies in 2025, and the key steps families need to understand. By the end, you'll have a complete guide to this life-changing opportunity. So before we dive in, make sure you subscribe to our channel and hit the notification bell. This is information you don't want to miss. The short answer, yes, but with some very important details. Unlike the 5-year work visa path or the 10-year-long residence route, the 7-year rule, formerly known as the private life route, is primarily designed for children and young people. It's based on a fundamental principle in UK law. Once a child has lived in the UK for 7 continuous years, building friendships, attending school, and integrating into society, it would be unreasonable and harmful to force them to leave. In other words, the UK recognizes that this is their true home, thanks to significant updates made in June 2022. This route has become far more streamlined and accessible now. Here's the key distinction. Was the child born in the UK or did they arrive later? Let's break it down. If a child was born in the UK and has lived here continuously for their first 7 years, they can now apply directly for indefinite leave to remain ILR. That's right, directly before the 2022 reforms, families were often placed on a 10-year path, having to make costly renewal applications every 2.5 years. This created stress, uncertainty, and financial pressure. But under today's rules, the Home Office recognizes the deep connection these children have with the UK. If your child has never left for a significant period and has lived here for 7 uninterrupted years, they are eligible for immediate settlement. And there's more. Once ILR is granted, the child only needs to hold it for 12 months before applying for British citizenship. This is one of the most compassionate and impactful routes in the entire immigration system. What about children who weren't born here, but have made the UK their home? The principle is the same. After 7 years of continuous residence, a child can apply under the private life route. The difference is in the outcome. Instead of being granted ILR immediately, these children are usually placed on a 5-year path to settlement. Here's how it works. After 7 years in the UK, the child applies for leave to remain. If successful, they're granted permission to stay for 30 months, 2.5 years. They must then renew, completing a 5-year period before applying for ILR. It's not as direct as for UK-born children, but it still provides a clear and achievable pathway to settlement. So, to recap, born in the UK plus 7 years equals direct ILR and citizenship within 8 years. Arrived young, 7 years equals 5-year path to ILR. Both options reflect a compassionate principle. Children who grow up in the UK deserve the right to stay in the place they call home. This route changes lives, provides stability, and opens the door to citizenship. If you or your family are navigating this process, stay informed and seek professional advice. And of course, make sure you're subscribed for more updates on immigration law and practical guidance. Caption: the 5-year settlement path. For children who were not born in the UK but have lived here continuously for 7 years, the journey doesn't end with a first approval. Typically, they are granted limited leave to remain for 2.5 years. They'll need to extend this leave for another 2.5 years. Once they complete a total of 5 years on the private life route, they can then apply for indefinite leave to remain ILR. While this pathway is not as immediate as it is for UK-born children, it still represents a major improvement. Families now have a defined 5-year timeline to settlement, much shorter and more manageable than the old 10-year route. The private life route also provides a critical lifeline for young adults, those aged 18 to 24 who came to the UK as children. To qualify, they must show that they have spent at least half of their life continuously in the UK. Think about that for a moment. An 18-year-old who arrived at age 9, a 22-year-old who came here at 11. For these individuals, the UK is home in every sense. They were educated here, their friendships are here, their identity and worldview were shaped here like children under the 7-year rule. Successful applicants in this category are usually placed on the 5-year route to settlement. This provision prevents young adults who are, for all intents and purposes, British in everything but their passport, from being forced to leave the only country they truly know. Now let's address some of the most common questions and misunderstandings. This is one of the most important points. To qualify, the child or young person must show continuous residence in the UK for 7 years. The Home Office will review the length and frequency of any time spent abroad. Occasional family holidays, usually fine, long or repeated absences. These could break continuous residence and jeopardize the application. Every case is assessed individually, but consistency and clear evidence are essential. Yes, and this is one of the most compassionate aspects of the 7-year rule. If a child qualifies, their parents and even siblings without leave can often apply for permission to remain at the same time. The logic is simple. It's not in the best interests of a child to remain in the UK without their parents. In most cases, parents are placed on the 10-year route to settlement, aligning their status with the child's security. No, and this is a common point of confusion. The 7-year private life route is specifically designed for children and young adults who have built their lives here. For adults, the time-based pathways to settlement are 5-year route for specific work or family visas, 10-year long residence route for those who have lived lawfully in the UK for a decade, 20-year route for those with a mix of lawful and unlawful residence, a far longer and more complex process. So, what does this mean for you and your family? It means that while the UK immigration system can be complex, there are now clearer and faster pathways for children and young adults to settle permanently. The reforms introduced in recent years provide certainty, compassion, and hope. If you believe your child may qualify under the 7-year rule, the first step is to document their life in the UK. Collect evidence such as school reports and attendance records, letters from doctors and healthcare providers, statements from teachers, friends, and community members. Together, these documents tell the story of a child's life in the UK, a story of friendships, growth, and belonging. Remember, this is not just about filling out an application form. It's about showing the human side of the law, the reality of a life built in the UK. The 7-year private life route is more than an immigration policy. It is a recognition of humanity. It acknowledges that children's lives, identities, and well-being should be central to immigration decisions. It recognizes that when a child grows up here, the UK is their home and they deserve the chance to stay. Deliver this part with empathy and authority, balancing the legal precision with the emotional weight of what this truly means for families. Navigating the path to indefinite leave to remain can sometimes feel overwhelming. But remember this: knowledge is power. Understanding that the 7-year route exists, knowing exactly who it applies to, and recognizing the clear steps involved can transform uncertainty into a confident plan. Whether your child was born in the UK and is nearing their 7th birthday, or your family arrived years ago and has now crossed that 7-year milestone, this pathway could very well be the key to securing your family's future in the United Kingdom. I hope this detailed breakdown has been valuable for you. The UK immigration, the system is always evolving, which makes it essential to stay informed and prepared. If you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up. For more straightforward, no-nonsense updates and guides on UK immigration, be sure to subscribe to our channel and turn on the notification bell so you never miss an important update. Do you have questions about the 7-year rule, or perhaps a personal experience you'd like to share? Drop it in the comments below. Together we can build a knowledgeable, supportive community that helps families navigate this journey with clarity and confidence. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next video. Deliver this outro with warmth and reassurance, firm enough to inspire trust, but personal enough to make viewers feel welcomed into a supportive community.